All right, we want to welcome on Chris Ferguson, quarterback at Maine, and my man balled out in the first half on, what was it, Sunday? Holidays
Friday
last week
night.
running together. Friday night? Okay, yeah. Whatever night you played. 404 freaking yards in the first half. Black Hole D gets a lot of the pub, man, but the offense showed out on Saturday. Did you have a pretty good idea during the week that you were going to have that type of success through the air?
I think it's just preparation, man, honestly. Going through the off season, we worked really hard. I put in a lot of work. I kind of pride myself in that. So, I can have full confidence going into that game, going into the game week, every game week that, I'll be ready. And obviously, during the week, watching film, practicing all those things that, get you ready, give you your confidence. So, no matter how it went, I kind of knew, we're going to have a good week as I expect every week.
What was it like in the middle of that when you realized, I don't know, at what point you realized that you had a game total of offensive passing yards in the first half, but when you're, say, sitting around 325 in that first half, how are you feling?
Never satisfied, honestly. I think wanted to keep scoring. Every time we got the ball, that's our goal. So, I didn't really think about it much during the half. I think at halftime, someone said something to me, and I just told them to chill out because we still got a game to play. We still had third quarter to go into and finish the job. So, but after kind of was pulled out, it was good to relax and kind of know the game went well. We executed, and we're on to next week now.
No question.
What's it feel like to be in a zone like that where every time you touch the ball, it seems like you're connected on a big play and just touchdown drive after touchdown drive? What's that feel like to be in that zone?
That's what you live for, man. That's top 3, top 5 things that I live for, and that's kind of gets me jacked up, gets me juiced. Just the amount of work and preparation and things that you put in over the off season, during the week, all those things that lead up to that point for about 60 minutes of football, but honestly 10 minutes of real gameplay. 8 minutes of gameplay. All those plays you run, all that time you put in. So to be that successful, to execute like that at a high level, it really feels good, and we're just excited. After that game, I just want to play some more. So we're looking forward to Saturday down to Georgia Southern.
Yeah, well, you'll get the chance to play some more. Obviously, everybody's feeling great after the game Saturday, but Georgia Southern, hell of a challenge. LSU had their way with them last week, so they're probably going to come in a little angry. How's prep going this week, and what do we know about the Eagles?
Yeah, no, it's been going really well. I think you can watch that tape against LSU and get a lot out of it, but obviously, they put a beating on them, and but we see a lot of things in them. They're really fast, they're physical, they fly around, and they got some corners that are top recognized players in the country. So our wideouts are gonna have another challenge on their hands to really step up, make some plays, be detailed in their work, in their routes, those kind of things that we got to be sharp on to execute. And the week of prep has been really good so far. A lot of film, a lot of meetings, a lot of walkthroughs to prepare us.
With LSU scoring 5 passing touchdowns on them, is that something as you as a quarterback and a wide receiver unit look and you kind of licking your chops a little bit, thinking that you can kind of replicate that success?
Yeah, I think when you watch the film, you kind of can see cut-ups of explosive passes, touchdowns, kind of see what worked on them, how those guys executed their plays. And it's definitely something you watch. And, when you see that, Sacred Heart last week, they're one of the top passing defenses in the country last year. So I don't think you can look too deep into that stuff. You just got to trust that the coaches are going to do a good job game planning. They're going to put us in the right position, and, we got to go make the plays.
Chris, look, we talked to Manny at CAA Media Day, and he wasn't lacking for confidence, that's for sure. But, so, I'm guessing team-wide, no one's lacking for confidence. But if your offense is going to play like that next to that Black Hole defense, it's got to be Frisco or bust for you guys, right?
Yeah, we're definitely focused on, one game at a time. Next game's the biggest game, but we all know in our back of our heads that's our goal at the end of this thing. Obviously, getting close last year. We know we can do that. We can get there. We believed in ourselves last year, but we haven't done it yet. So, we got close last year, but definitely not satisfied. And, with that Black Hole doing their thing and our offense taking it to an elite level is where we're trying to go. So if we can do those things, just kind of let it happen and see where the cards fall.
Well, look, man, we're looking forward to watching you play for the rest of this year. We sure enjoyed watching you play last weekend. Best of luck against Georgia Southern on Saturday, and give us another highlights put up on the site.
No doubt. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, brother.
Thanks, Chris.
All
right, so once again, thanks to Chris Ferguson. Thanks to our guy Tyson at Maine for setting up that interview.
Yeah.
You can't play better than that kid played last weekend, man. So he was a no-brainer who to have on the show this week. Wishing them, again, the best of luck against Georgia Southern. But, look, if anybody from the FCS and then from the CAA is going to have a little something for Georgia Southern, I think that Maine
absolutely
may have
and,
something for them.
You know, with the run of success that the CAA has had against FBS schools, what an opportunity for them, and one that you really believe that they can win, too.
Yeah, they can make it 4 straight years for the CAA with a victory over an FBS opponent.
It's really
with a victory
impressive.
against Georgia Southern this weekend. So, again, thanks to Chris for coming on. You want to just kind of roll through because our calendars are loaded up with CAA games this week. So if you want to just roll through what we've got in store this weekend, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. St. Francis against James Madison Saturday night at 6 Eastern. James Madison, as we kind of talked about earlier, taking West Virginia to the wire. It was 10-10 going into the fourth quarter, and they ended up losing by a touchdown. But the Dukes were who we thought they were, going into the season, and they're absolutely going to be a factor come FCS playoff time.
Yeah, Rondell Carter in particular, man.
Oh, man. He was super impressive.
I know that West Virginia offensive line is not going to be sad to not have to face that group again this week.
Absolutely. And then also Saturday night, Bryant against UAlbany. We saw Bryant against Stony Brook actually last week. So Bryant getting their fair share of CAA flavor here early.
Yeah.
UAlbany, man, they're not far off.
No, they're not.
They, I think, were 12th in the preseason, but as we kind of hit on in their season preview this year, they were just a few minutes away from stealing a couple games late in the season last year that would have put them right at 500. And they were certainly game against Central Michigan last Thursday. Then earlier in the afternoon at 2 Eastern, the Citadel against Elon. We saw the Citadel give Towson problems last week with that triple option look, and then Elon loses that heartbreaker to NC-A&T that you were talking about. The schedule is absolutely brutal for Elon. I was looking at that before the show. So they opened with NC-A&T, now Citadel, who's that triple option team. Then you go at Richmond, at Wake Forest, and host Madison. That is really not fun.
No, that's not super fun. But look, I mean, Davis Cheek is a hell of a player. Elon's got the guys to make that work. And NC-A&T,
they are very good. They're
very, very talented program, especially defensively, man. They got some dudes that can fly around the ball there. So if there's a team up to the task, it's Elon.
Yeah.
They can handle it.
Absolutely.
One other point on the CAA success against FBS opponents. Not only would it be 4 years in a row if Maine is to knock off Georgia Southern, it would be 2 years in a row for Maine in particular because they also beat Western Kentucky last year. So Maine, Richmond, Stony Brook, and William & Mary have got a shot this week in week number 2.
Who does Stony Brook play?
I don't know. It's not in my notes.
Sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off guard there. I just know.
You gotta set me up.
I know
right,
I'm sorry. I know Richmond goes to Boston College, and I know
William & Mary's got Virginia.
Mike London goes back to Charlottesville.
That's right. So while you do that research, I would just say the CAA has posted 38 wins.
Oh, Utah State for Stony Brook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I like that defense against Utah State. Let's go. 38 wins over FBS foes in the history of the CAA.
It's impressive, man.
And they have at least one win in 11 of the past 13 years.
It's impressive.
It is. Best FCS league in the country.
Yeah. Just the fact that they can do it year in, year out, and they're going to like big name schools and doing it is the craziest part.
Yeah.
Still Saturday night, 6 Eastern, in-state PA battle, Lehigh, Villanova. Villanova is not getting the respect that they deserve
we got to talk about
in the
Villanova,
national polls. They just go up to Colgate and put a whooping on them in week 0. First college football game of the season.
Dominate them.
Yeah. And
that's another one of those games where the final score not even indicative of the type of beatdown that was. Colgate, they never had a chance.
No, and Colgate, I think, was like ranked 18th preseason, something like that, going into the game. They go in there, dominate. Then Colgate, they go and lose the Air Force, so they're 0-2. Still somehow in the polls. And then Villanova barely gets in the stats poll, but they barely got any votes in the coaches poll.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
So crazy to me. Get another shot to show how good they are against Lehigh. Talked about Towson having a tough time with Citadel. I think we'll get a better feel for where they're at Saturday night when they open their season at Johnny Unitas Stadium against North Carolina Central. And then our final CAA game of the week, and maybe the one I'm looking forward to the most, a Saturday night game under the lights. First time at Meade Stadium, brand new turf, brand new lights. Rhode Island playing host to number 21, Delaware.
Yep.
and Rhode Island really first winning season in like 18 years last year. Had a tough opening loss at Ohio this week, but Ohio's preseason MAC favorite.
Ohio's good. We talked about it.
We
Air
did.
Canada. We're good there.
So I think this Rhode Island team is really good, and that place is going to be juiced up when Delaware comes to town.
Yeah, I agree. That game is going to look freaking beautiful.
Oh,
under the lights with
the
that new
field
turf
looks
popping,
beautiful.
Man. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I want to circle back to 2 points that you made there. Are we through the schedule, or do we still have more?
No, that's
okay.
it. Six this week.
It is like borderline crime that Villanova is not getting more attention nationally, in the polls, whatever. What they did to Colgate doesn't happen to Colgate, for one thing. It damn sure doesn't happen to Colgate on their home field. It was complete and utter domination. Offensively, they both ran and threw for more than 200 yards in that game. I think they ended up running closer to 250. Just an incredible effort by the offensive line. No offensive line gets enough love, but shout out to Villanova's offensive line, because those boys came to play. And then, obviously, Amos getting the FCS National Defensive Player of the Year, runs a pick back for a touchdown.
Of the week.
When I say the year?
Yeah.
Well, you might get it for the year.
Maybe it could be foreshadowing.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Player of the Year. Just, look, man, they could not have come out of the gates stronger than what they did against Colgate, and I don't expect them to take a step back against Lehigh. I think Nova's got a little chip on their shoulder. I think they feel like they've been ignored both within their league and on a national level. And I think that you're going to continue to see more effort like you did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and the schedule sets up nicely these next 2 weeks. You get Lehigh Bucknell, in-state rivals who you're going to be heavily favored against, and then that brings you right into showdowns against Towson and Maine in back-to-back weeks.
Yep.
Towson, Maine, William & Mary, JMU. So
those
there you go.
2 weeks against Towson and Maine are going to shape the conference landscape. In large part. Obviously, JMU comes a couple of weeks after that, right?
Yep.
2 weeks after that, so 3 out of 4 weeks there.
Exactly, but you set yourself up. Should be 3-0 going into that Towson game, and you get a real chance to show how good you are on really national stage against a top 10 team in Towson.
Agreed. And Towson's actually the other team I wanted to lean into a little bit. The Citadel, and we talked about it. Service Academy runs that running, whatever you want to call it. You want to call it the wishbone, you want to call it the option, you want to call it the Maryland backfield, whatever name you want to put on it. They run the hell out of the ball. They slow it way down, which, if you want an FBS reference, it's a lot like what Oklahoma ran into last year with Army, where you look at the final score of that game and you're like, I can't believe Oklahoma only won by X. Same kind of deal with Towson. They actually controlled the game early, led 17-7, and then the game got slowed down. It got a little messy, and then you end up in a situation where the Citadel leads late. But credit to Towson. Credit to the guys on both sides of the ball, but particularly, man, it just feels like every time I look up, Shane Simpson is delivering another game-tying or game-winning play. Yeah. And I didn't know this, but apparently, and Coach Ambrose mentioned it, I guess, after the game, Shane he'd struggled on grass.
I saw that too.
So shout out to Shane for overcoming his grass fears.
Heck yeah.
I get it. It's itchy. You don't like playing on it that much, but he balled out on
Not
grass.
Not as fast, especially if the team left the grass high.
It's true.
They didn't cut it.
So you saw how good he was last week. Just imagine how good Shane's going to be this week on turf.
On turf. I know. He's going to fly around there. And also, I think what's important to note about Towson, too, is it was the defense really stepping up late with a couple big plays. And if you look at some of the scores from last year, that wasn't always the case. And the offense was kind of getting in these shootouts. So really big that the defense stepped up and made that nice pick along the sidelines. Yeah,
no question. I mean, look, you hold an opponent to 20-some points, you're doing something right. And we heard it all off season long from everybody at Towson. And not defensive players, not coaches, offensive players that were going to bat for their defense, saying our defense is really good and they're going to play really well this year. We heard it from Shane. We heard it from Tom. Everybody that got an opportunity wanted to tell us how great that defense was going to be this year, and then they show up in week 1 and they back it up. So
shout out Tebow.
So anyway, I'm looking really forward to the CAA slate we have this week. It's actually not that unique. We have pretty much this type of a lineup every week for the remainder of the year. But
I'm really excited, man. After watching the first full week of action, I can't wait to get into some of these conference matchups too.
Yeah, week 1 was fun. Obviously we're at the Freedom Bowl, a high school event in Atlanta, but we got our phones out and we're flipping back and forth between the games. It's just kind of, it was a really cool feature to be able to just keep up with the entire league in our hand like that.
Yeah, highly recommend the Flow Sports app on iPhones. Possibly coming to Android soon.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's very easy. You can literally just swipe between the games.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it very easy.
It's also easy on the Roku.
Mm-hmm.
Just throwing that out there.
Nomad said Apple TV was great too. So.
Well, there you go.
Wow, I don't know if there's a bad way to watch.
There's not. All good ways to watch. So sign up, lock in. Colonial time is up. William and Mary in Virginia, you're on the clock.